You know that moment when you stand up from a chair and think, why does this feel harder than it used to? Or when carrying groceries suddenly feels like a mini workout you didn't sign up for. A lot of people think this is just normal aging. But here's the thing that surprises almost everyone I talk to. Losing muscle as you get older isn't just about getting old. It's something called sarcopenia, and it starts creeping in quietly, usually long before people realize anything is happening. And the wild part? You can be eating what you believe is a healthy breakfast every morning, and still accidentally make muscle loss worse. I've had so many seniors come to me confused, frustrated, and honestly a little scared because they're doing everything right. They exercise, they try to eat well, they take their supplements, and yet they keep getting weaker. But here's where things get interesting. Breakfast actually plays a much bigger role than most people realize. When you wake up, your muscles are basically running on empty. You've been fasting all night, your body is doing repairs in the background, and the very first thing you put in your stomach sets the tone for how your muscles recover for the rest of the day. Eat the wrong thing and you slow everything down. Eat the right thing and you give your muscles exactly what they've been waiting for. Now, before I get into the foods that help, I want to talk like a friend for a second and be totally honest with you. A lot of the scary claims floating around online, like coffee destroying muscle, skim milk blocking nutrients, or whole grains causing muscle breakdown. No, your muscles aren't that fragile. The human body is smarter and far more adaptable than that. But some breakfast habits can absolutely make sarcopenia worse, just not in the dramatic, fear-based ways people sometimes claim. So let's break this down in a way that's simple, practical, and backed by real research, but still in plain English, because you don't need a medical lecture before breakfast. Imagine this. Your muscles are like a team of workers who show up every morning ready to rebuild, repair, and strengthen your body. But they can only do that if you actually give them the materials they need. Protein, healthy fats, key vitamins, and minerals. If they don't get those, they'll still try their best, but they'll fall behind little by little. And over time, you start feeling weaker, slower, and more tired. That's where breakfast really matters. Your body is most sensitive to protein in the morning, which means it absorbs and uses it more efficiently after an overnight fast. But here's the challenge. Most Americans are eating breakfasts that are basically all sugar and carbs, cereal, toast, pastries, muffins, bagels, flavored yogurt, fruit juice. These foods aren't bad, but they don't give your muscles what they desperately need. And when breakfast is missing protein, your total protein for the day usually ends up way too low. Here's the part most people don't know. After 60, you actually need more protein than when you were younger. Your muscles become a little stubborn and respond less strongly to protein, which means you need a bigger signal to trigger muscle repair. Researchers call this anabolic resistance. I call it your muscles acting like a teenager who doesn't want to get out of bed unless you yell their name twice. But that's not the end of the story, not even close. Because once you know how to feed your muscles in the morning, things start changing fast. I've seen people go from barely getting out of chairs to walking with energy again. I've seen grip strength improve. I've seen people go back to hobbies they'd stopped doing. And honestly, I've seen a lot of people get that spark back in their eyes. So let's walk through what actually works. Real foods, real science, real results. No scare tactics. The best breakfasts for muscle after 60 follow a simple rule. Protein first. If you start your morning with at least 25 to 30 grams of protein, you're already ahead of most people. Your muscles wake up, your energy stabilizes, and your body starts repairing itself in ways you can feel. One of my favorite muscle-friendly foods in the morning is plain Greek yogurt. And I'm talking about the real stuff, the kind that's thick, tangy, and actually high in protein. A cup can give you around 15 to 20 grams of high-quality protein, and the cool part is that it naturally contains leucine, which is like the on switch for muscle building. Your body needs that switch flipped every single day, especially after 60. And Greek yogurt does it beautifully. Add some berries or nuts and boom, you've got a balanced breakfast that keeps you full and actually supports your muscles instead of just filling your stomach. Another champion breakfast food is eggs. And if you've avoided eggs because of cholesterol fear, here's the good news. For most people, eggs are not only safe, they're incredibly nourishing. The yolk is where the majority of the vitamins and minerals live, and your muscles need those nutrients. Plus, Eggs are one of the few foods that give you all the essential amino acids in the right proportions. That's like handing your muscles a perfectly organized toolbox instead of a pile of random parts. And let me tell you something I see all the time. When people start their day with eggs, their energy is steadier, their cravings drop, and they stay fuller way longer. That alone makes it easier to avoid the mid-morning snack spiral, which absolutely impacts muscle health too. Now, here's something people don't expect. Avocado plays a big role in muscle support. Not because it builds muscle directly, but because it helps your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins that keep your muscles, nerves, and hormones working properly. And those healthy fats, they help keep your blood sugar steady, which means fewer crashes, less fatigue, and better energy to actually move your body. Movement, by the way, is the second half of the muscle-building equation. You can't eat your way out of sarcopenia without using your muscles too. But the right breakfast makes movement easier, not harder. Another great option? Lean proteins like chicken or turkey. I know eating meat in the morning isn't common for many Americans, but it's actually one of the most effective ways to boost protein intake early in the day. A few slices of leftover chicken on a breakfast wrap, mixed into eggs, or paired with avocado can easily get you to that 25 to 30 gram sweet spot. And when people hit that range consistently, their strength improves. I've seen it over and over. And I cannot forget nuts and seeds. Almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, they're all like little nutrition powerhouses. They give you protein, healthy fats, magnesium, and zinc, which your muscles absolutely depend on. Magnesium especially is something a lot of older adults are low in, and low magnesium can make your muscles feel weaker, tighter, and more prone to cramps. When people start adding nuts or seeds to breakfast, I can't tell you how many come back saying, "My legs don't feel as heavy anymore," or, "I haven't had night cramps in weeks." Now, I want to take a second to talk about breakfast foods that aren't great for muscle health, not because they're poison, but because they don't give your body what it needs in that crucial morning window. White bread, pastries, sugary cereals, even flavored instant oatmeal, they give you a fast sugar spike, then a crash. And when your blood sugar crashes, your energy drops, your appetite skyrockets, and your muscles don't get any meaningful building blocks. It's not that these foods are evil. They're just not helpful when your muscles are trying to repair themselves. And coffee? Coffee is perfectly safe for most people. You don't need to give it up. The trick is simply not drinking it alone on an empty stomach if you're someone who gets shaky or jittery or feels like your energy crashes afterward. Having it with a protein-rich breakfast is totally fine. So if coffee makes you happy, keep it. Just pair it with real food. The point is not to scare you away from foods. The point is to understand how your body works now and to work with it, not against it. Because once you do that, everything gets easier. Your muscles respond better. Your energy improves. Your balance improves. Even your mood gets better because stable blood sugar and adequate protein make a huge difference in how you feel emotionally. I've watched so many people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s turn things around once they start fueling their muscles the right way. And it doesn't require fancy powders or gimmicks. It's literally just breakfast, done right, done consistently, and done with foods your body knows how to use. So if you've been noticing weakness, fatigue, or loss of strength, you're not helpless. You're not too old. And you're definitely not broken. Your muscles simply need better fuel, especially in the morning. And when you start giving them that, the changes feel almost magical, even though they're just biology doing what biology does best. If this helped shift the way you think about breakfast and muscle health, hit that subscribe button. I break down health topics just like this every week, real science, simple explanations, and practical steps you can actually use. And if you're serious about staying strong as you age, you don't want to miss what's coming next.